This your boy Cash Shoulder, the Boss King, aka Cash Nelson. I feel like I can have a conversation with anybody about any topic on any level. So that's what we're gonna do. Welcome to Boss Talk. I got my boy Power Man MC in the building. He gonna let y'all know who he is, what he do, and what he stand for, and what he don't stand for. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, this is the Power Man MC, representing the hip hop world and the entertainment world, the world of anybody trying to make improvements.
Okay. So where are you from exactly?
Originally out of LA, South Central LA, born and raised in a resident of the 818 area, Valley area of San Fernando, Cali, all California, born and raised.
Okay. And how long you been rapping in this game?
For decades. And I was just kidding earlier about down near half a century, but it's been at least 33 years in the rap game at this point. I can also say that it's true.
Yeah, it's been a while because I remember being highly inspired and motivated by you. When they used to have those records, Tower Records, and all of those little record places where you actually go inside and listen to the music before you buy it. Those were the days. But I go in there every day after school and listen to your album. I couldn't believe that you had got it in there. I didn't know the ways of the consignment and all that. I was just like, dang, man, he done made it big, man. You know, I think I'm about 14 at this time. You know what I mean? And I'm showing the homies the album. We listen and we like, man, damn, this is rocking. And he stayed right down the street, man. He done made it big. It was a crazy experiment because I had never witnessed that before.
Yeah, man, that was which album was that? The Wolf of the Millionaire album?
Yeah, I believe so. And so, if I was 14, that was over 20 plus years ago. So, like I was talking with you earlier, how do you feel about people putting a cap on rappers, saying, there's an age limit. You shouldn't be rapping if you're in the 40s. It's a young man's game, etc.
When I was younger, I thought that's how it should be. But as I got older and I started watching what's happening to hip hop in the world, I had a complete 360 turn on that opposite view of the age of hip hop. I think age of hip hop is endless. I say you rap till you drop and it don't stop. And I say that based on what I hear new MCs and rappers doing, but also there's it's like a fatherly thing at this point. You know, you take away the guidance of the old school, and the new school just come out there floating around. It's almost like a fatherless child. Watch a child that has a father in his life and watch one that doesn't, and then watch the struggles. The same thing applies to hip hop.
And that's funny because prior episode with Wiley, aka Lucky, where we're talking about how he survived 20 years in prison and etc., how he almost died 4 times. I simply asked him, I said, if your father was around, would you still got put on the game? He said no. So the fatherhood is very powerful and it's something that's underestimated and people don't talk about it a lot. You know, they always make the mothers high priority and like fathers are just, whatever.
Yeah, it seems like that. But, and especially within the urban or I say black communities, there's been a lot of overlooking of fathers, period. And, the level of guidance that's needed from a father can't be replaced by a woman. A woman can stand there and do the same duties, but not as effective, if you ask me, based on experience. But that guidance goes a long way,
Exactly. And then they got this. It's funny because it's true, but it's funny. And those are always the best type of posts and type of memes. So they got this meme floating around where it's Dwayne Wade, Will Smith, somebody else. And it was an example of people who basically it was an example of women that run the household. And you see how that turned out.
Yeah.
It was Will Smith and Dwayne Wade. It's somebody else too, but I can't think of the other person. But it's funny, but it's like, dang, it's a sad truth.
Well, that's something not to take away from a mother's love and guidance because that has to be there. But at some point, the man has to be there to teach the value of a man. and a young man. And when it's not there, you can easily get fooled into thinking anything goes.
Right.
And unfortunately, some fathers, that's they leave it to the mothers, and that's the outcome.
Right.
I don't knock it, but I support and I try to encourage, especially the youth, the youngsters, to that become fathers to really play a role in the life of their kids. And I kind of put that together, Cash, over with hip hop, because when you take away the guidance of the veterans, right? Let's say a team, for example. I'm a coach, so I talk like a coach.
Right.
But you have leadership, and when you take away that leadership of whoever was there first, that got the most experience, and you take that away, all chaos tends to break loose, and a lot of things fall off and out of order. Hence the removal of a lot of the major labels that put that out there, is because with a father, somebody's experience, you can't trick them as easily and get away with the BS.
Right.
But a youngster that don't know anything, a young kid coming up, or somebody young in the game, you can use and abuse them so many ways in the music industry, especially with hip hop and rock and a lot of other music departments. This is how it's taught, because the people in power want to stay in power, and they don't want no guidance. They don't want nobody with experience sitting there, talking the truth and telling them you're not supposed to get 1% and they get 99. They don't want that. So they're the ones that are put out there that somebody's too old to do a record or something, because they want to control the new people.
Are you gonna pinpoint who they are, or you just want to say you want to keep it anonymous?
No, I think it's pointing out again. You can say the people in leadership of records now in hip hop, people that are in power positions. That the less you.
So you're talking about CEOs,
major labels.
Major labels, okay.
CEOs, big companies. I'm not gonna go exactly into some of the label names,
right?
But the majority of them, the more naive they can keep you, the more rookie-ish. I don't know if that's a word. But the less you know, the more they can steal from you, take from you. And that's one reason that myth of rappers is only for the young folks is out there, because at the end of the day, it's about how much can we get, how close to slavery can we get with these artists, and you take away the veteran rappers, or you make sure the veteran rappers have nothing but bad habits, or habits that's going to lead to their downfall or destruction of youth or whatever. They keep those up in the forefront. It's a power struggle. They can't stand me because I come in with my own power, and I know too much. So if we can't trick him, we can't make him a slave. Let's go find somebody that we can. That's the mentality.
So what do you think about the hip hop status now?
Lack of guidance. I'm frustrated with so many young rappers being, shot up and murdered. Now, there's a separation between music and rappers being shot. Anybody can get shot, It's just that it's highlighted a whole lot more when a MC, when a rapper is, in a violent death. And I feel like the youth are turned out. I feel like the guidance is not enough veterans in the ear of some of these younger talented artists. It's really sad. I feel bad for them.
Do you feel like they're more realer people? They're realer than the rappers from back in the day, because a lot of the rappers from back in the day maybe were fake gangsters and weren't doing what they're saying, opposed to the kids now who actually doing this drill rap and doing what they saying.
No, I think as far as the real side of it, the real side of it is if you go out here, you're a millionaire, you're making big money, and you go back in the hood, and you're foolish to get up here thinking everything is good and the same. It's a stupidity to that, and so many rappers that don't make it to the highest level, and they kind of get caught up in, let's say, the wannabe. They say now it's more real rappers. No, just more real rappers that are foolish and just not smart enough to get away from the trap. That's what's happening. I think, and again, you take away the knowledge from all these people, and they get out here and just wall out. And the same thing with gangbanging, or people that are who's the leader in the child's head.
Right.
Who's talking to them? Who's putting knowledge on them? This is how you conduct yourself. This is how you stay out of trouble. This is what you do. Now, some people you can talk to, they just don't listen, hard-headed. But majority of the wrestlers that really want to know something, they'll go up to the veterans and learn the game. You know, the difference now is just the technology, and it's an illusion that if you and this is another thing brought to the power struggle with hip hop. You know, it's an illusion put out there by the major labels that tell these guys if you disrespect this many people, you go blow up. You know, if you got the most money in. Prime example, Cashola. Let's say a kid got a hot record. He just want to rap about it. He had a rough day, but he coming up. You know, major label be like, that's cool and everything, but we need something more dangerous, more vile. We need you to go out here and cuss out, you know, Ice Cube and Kanye and, you know, anybody, you know, just disrespect any and everybody, especially the biggest rappers out there.
Have you heard any of them say that? Because you've been in the room with a lot of people.
I've seen it and heard it, and it's unfortunately way too real. Hip hop heads are limited what they can even rap about now. The artist is about artists being creative. What's sad is I tell artists all the time, look, you don't have to make the same record sound exactly like this person. You might want to touch on it, but you don't want to be exactly like the last person. What's the difference between you and them if you're exactly like them?
Speaking of that, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, but speaking of that, what is the West Coast sound now? Because there's no identification of a West Coast sound nowadays. Everybody's a trap rapper.
Yeah, again, that's coming from the people that usually come from people that don't even rap. They're not artists. They're just business people and trying to keep the business the same. This is why you hear the same records every hour on the hour on the radio.
Yeah, I get that. You know, we've been blaming that for years, but at the same time, I think it's a lack of creativity on the West Coast. I mean, especially as long as Snoop Dogg is like one of the top people, the style is never going to change.
No, but speaking of Snoop, I'm a big fan of that song that the West and Dr. Dre put out and all of that. But you know, there's different styles in the West that just haven't been pushed. And it's the people that are in power that are not allowing the new styles to be pushed.
What's the new style? That's what I'm asking you. What's the new style?
You know, hip hop has been kidnapped.
What's the West Coast style?
The newest I can say that I hear, I don't even know if Big Sean is West. You know, he claiming a lot, but
who? Big Sean?
Yeah,
he's from Detroit, bro.
No, but he comes and reps the West.
Yeah, but I'm asking. See, that's where the issue is. We cannot find the West Coast sound that comes from the West Coast no more. We're outsourcing people like Big Sean. We're outsourcing people like Future and whoever's popular. But you cannot name an LA West Coast person that has their own style that is influential anymore. It's not even Kendrick. You don't see people coming out trying to rap like Kendrick.
This is true. Kendrick Lamar is one that's off the West. That's right. But I think
people didn't. But hold on. People wasn't even smart enough to try to emulate that style and ride that. Maybe try that as some new West Coast music. They just continue to just go with the trap stuff.
Yeah, to get away from that, it's gonna have to be on the independents. And I think that's coming, though. I think that change is coming. I think people are slowly getting smarter and realizing, hey, man, we got to control our music and put out what we want, and get off the tip of these people that don't even rap or people that just in it to see you violate your community and everybody, I make all kind of records, as you know, but I've never been able to be controlled, or sell out to where, these days, you have to do a vile gay act or like they say, sell out to get on, and then what, So that's one reason the West has kind of been locked where it's at in reference to staying stuck like, say, a Snoop or old West Coast style. That's defined as that's the West, It's because those same people are still in power. So that's the guys that Clear Channel, the people that own the radio stations.
And that just confirms what I'm saying. Like, as long as the same people is where they at, doing what they're doing and being at the top, it's going to have a hard chance of, being creative and introducing the whole creative style. because everything is messed up from the radio people to the actual West Coast artists. We don't collaborate out here. We're more of a hater. We want to know where you from before you get on the record. The people that's at the record place, I mean, the people that's on the radio stations, they don't know what a West Coast person is. I like a real West Coast underground. They're not playing no underground West Coast. They used to back in the day. They not looking for no new West Coast artists. They just continue to do whatever's trending. So we're not gonna win there. It's not even like they have like when they might have a West Coast hour, but it's gonna be old school stuff. And even when you watching the Lakers, it's sad. The Staples game, all you hear is boom, 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 Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, same old thing. Like if there's no other music that you can play from LA or West Coast. And it's like it's sad. It's just like y'all can't even put no Pac in it. Y'all not even playing Pac. You playing the same old typical stuff, and it's sad.
Yeah, it's well. That's why one people used to hip hop did. But I think again, the new social media is creating ways for artists to get hot on that, and the majors don't have nothing to do with a lot of that. I think that's where the new
and that's where my statement comes in, and we're not being creative because we have a shot at social media, and we're copying. We're out here talking about this lean rap, and all this other type of stuff. We're just copying people on social media instead of leading.
I think it's coming though, Cashola. I think that slowly but surely the change is going to come because people are getting a little bit smarter and realizing, you know what, let me just go for it and stop listening to these robotic people that turned on one style and stuck there. You know what I'm saying? That right there is a turn off. A lot of artists get discouraged, But I encourage them to stay creative, do you, stay new, and open up your verses to something that's go up the community. Bring back more conscious rap.
Right.
But let's make conscious rap, just as mainstream as the hard gangster rap. You feel me?
That would be nice. I'm gonna switch topics. I'm gonna switch gears.
Okay.
What was the first film that you produced? Because when I say produced, you put out. I know you was in a bunch of films. How many to be exact?
I've been in about a good 17, 18 movies, I believe.
Okay. Now, how many you actually put out and you actually raised money for? What was the first one?
Actually, the one that you did your thing for me back in the day, and the World for the Million was actually the first one that I just personally pushed, wrote it, produced, executive produced, did the soundtrack and all that. That was the first one, man. I just said, hey, this is gonna be me. Because all the movies prior to that, Cashola, I was in movies as an actor and as
That's why I skipped over. Yeah, that's why I skipped over that part. I know you was in I saw you in a bunch of them, but once you start doing your thing, it switched. Things changed. And I want to publicly thank you for putting me in my first film and multiple films after that. But yeah, that was good looking out, bro. Period.
Yeah, you hot talent, man. You multi talent over there. That's all got for the people that don't know. You multi talented, always have been. So it's a pleasure to have you on the team, man. You fam, you know that. You're one of my little brothers in the rap game and the entertainment game. From there. But
right.
I think
now I'm in the podcast, because all that other stuff. I'm in the podcast game. I recreated myself. Hey, I appreciate that. But let me ask you this: how you feel about getting over 2 million hits on the Welfare of the Millionaire on the YouTube and not being able to monetize that?
Well, lack of knowledge when that first got put up. I knew I was good numbers, and that was just based on soundtracks I had. Other movies I was in that was getting a few million views or whatever. But it was.
But the film that you wrote, you act, has over 2 million has over 2 million views on YouTube. That's Welfare to Millionaire on YouTube. For those that's listening, Welfare to Millionaire on YouTube. If you're listening, has over 2 million views, and you were basically snaked and wasn't able to monetize on that, and you were snaked on the whole movie deal. Period. How did you come back from that?
It was difficult, but a lot of prayer and hustle, man. Because when you get did wrong like that, a lot of people end up just going off and beating up and shooting up all the people involved that do the dirt to them. And I had to really meditate and run and let it out, let my anger out different ways. Because the old me definitely would have been stuff blown up, But I, as a man and a father, I had to really think. Okay, I see what they're trying to do.
Right.
They want me to do that. They want me to, do something that's gonna put me in jail for years. And I had to just be smart about my tactics and move differently. You feel me?
Yeah.
There's a plan and a plot to make as many independent black men be locked down as much as possible. And I just think some of us on purpose, some of us by accident, just the habit of.
Well, I ain't trying to cut you off with that, but in this particular case, it was another black man that snaked you.
Yeah.
And so I think this was greed, and people don't understand that the movie business is just as grimy as the rap business, if not worse.
Yeah. Again, move differently, educate myself even more about the business side of things, And so to get over it, I literally just educate myself more and make sure that in the future this won't happen again.
Do you ever?
I was wanted to get an attorney.
Let me ask you this: do you ever think about how much money that is, or could have been?
Oh, all the time. I try to think about it, and I have to let that go and flush it down the toilet like a bad player in basketball, because you can't dwell on it too much; it'll drive you nuts. You'll be ready to, do something crazy or somebody. So I had to just really mentally be strong, pray, and put it behind.
So what you did was also a great response. You turned the movie into a clothing brand. Talk about it.
Oh, the WTM. Yeah, can I tell about that up? Yeah, thank you, because
You like how I transitioned to that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm forgetting what's going on.
Yeah. You like how I transitioned to that. I told you it's going to be a conversation, man. This ain't going to be a typical interview. It's going to be a conversation, and we're going to get into it. Say the words again, because I don't think the people heard you.
With the WTM?
Say it in correct English, sir.
The Welfare to Millionaire clothing line.
WTM, correct?
WTM
Thank you, sir.
for Welfare to Millionaire, and this is spelled the way it's spoken. Came about with me as far as I had an album out first before the movie.
Right.
And as you know, that's what started everything way back in the day.
Right.
And I just made that the brand. Powerman MC is the brand, but I made the WTM, the Welfare to Millionaire brand. I just wore into it more and let my attorneys know, that we're gonna have more success with this. And here in the last few years, I've been blessed to really get it off the ground. EQ has been working with me, and she's been a heavenly angel godsend, man.
She on her stuff. She on her stuff. Let me ask you this. What type of products do you have for the clothing? And where can they find it?
Okay. They can go to Welfare to Millionaire, the number 2 on the IG on Instagram.
Okay.
And there's photos on there of some of the sweatsuits, which is really big for us right now, starting to grow. We recently, within the last week and a half, got our slippers, our flip flops are blowing up.
Yeah, I see the slippers. Yeah, I see them. I see them on Facebook.
The earrings had come about a few videos back on the other new singles. So this is happening single. We introduced the earrings. That was a year ago.
Okay.
And we have some hats. The beanies are coming. We had some face masks that, because of COVID, was getting hot. Came and went so fast we couldn't even keep up.
Nice.
So we're 9 different product items now, but you can see those on the Welfare to Millionaire, feelavibe.com, FEELDAAVIBEZ.com. Go to fashion department and you'll see just pictures of all the products the Welfare to Millionaire clothing line is for sale.
Beautiful. You also have a TV series you're going to make, right?
Yeah, that's up and coming for 2023.
2023. Yeah. You just dropped a movie this year. What was it called?
Bad Voices.
Bad Voices. Where can they find that movie at?
You know what? As of right now, they can go to Phila Vibes on YouTube and just put Power Man MC, it pops right up. Bad Voices, Power Man MC. The trailer pops up. The movie pops up. It's crazy that you mentioned that, Cash, because you're part of that too.
That was good looking. That was good looking. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. I'm learning.
Hey, check this out. I don't want to give away everything, man. But you nailed it. So many phone calls come back about your performance, in particular in the movie. And this movie is just a prelude to the series that's coming. It's actually the movie, but 9 episodes coming in 2023. And again, feel the vibes on YouTube. That's where you can see the movie, and we'll be posting details about it on the feelthevibes.com website. And when our first episode of production starts at the end of January 2023.
Okay. That's what's up. So the peoples, it's a lot of stuff coming from this man. Also, you got an album coming too.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a productive year. I've been one of those people that I'm gonna drop the album, then I drop a single, I'm gonna drop the album, and I drop a single. Just that over and over the last few years. So now some of the producers I work with, shout out to Bobby Wilkerson, he's doing his thing in Spy and all of them. I literally got a good production team. One of my OGs, Chain Day One, is coming back to help me put this album together. I got some really good, influential people around me that's just great musicians, man. That's got my back, and them coming on board just empowers me. And then the fan base always in my ear about, you said you was gonna drop. So this is one for the fans and the family.
Dope. And also, what I love and I appreciate is how you incorporated your kids, in particular your sons, on the set. They all had like particular roles in the movies or helping with production. Man, I thought that was lovely.
I'm glad you caught that, man. Because I preach and teach that, and I stand by it.
Right.
Get the youngsters involved. One of my sons is Lawrence is the lead. He's an actor. I mean, they do their own thing, but
that's
they
want to
follow in Pop's footsteps and working on some stuff in the entertainment game, or mentoring kids, or coaching, or whatever I do that they want to do. I definitely drop knowledge on them. Hey,
your oldest son is like, he remind me most of you. He owned it with that photography.
Oh yeah.
That boy get busy. Shout out to him. Shout him out, man. Quit playing.
It's funny, man, how that.
Shout him out, man. Shout him out. Where can they find him?
Right now, I call him CD, but it's Chris G the Real. He got a lot of videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah,
and he's doing his thing.
And his IG.
Yeah, it's Chris G the Real. The G is actually in the spelling of it.
He shoot videos too.
Yeah. Boy,
shout him out, man. We gotta plug him in, man. Shout out to the whole family, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah, man. The Gibbs fam, man. Look for the Gibbs fam. Rocket. We got a big WTM commercial coming out next year, man.
That's what's up.
All the fans in there. One of my daughters is gonna be in there, and I try to get the kids involved.
Right.
One of them was yeah, man. Keep the family in the whole line in it. But trip on this. Your kids probably do this one day. He told me one day, "Oh, Dad, I gotta go. I'm doing my own thing. I'm not really doing it like you. I'm doing my own thing." Now, mind you, yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I'm a mentor and coach of youth. But I'm also, as a producer, writer, director, and rapper, and all that.
Right.
So I said, okay, that sounds good. Why don't you doing something productive? So tell me what you doing. He says, well, I got to go coach these kids. And then I got and after the studio point, I'm going to work on this record. I mean, it was exactly what I do, and I was like, good.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, and I just took myself. I said, okay.
That's crazy.
Like, these kids watch you, man. So you gotta pay attention to what you do.
That's fact. And you've always been a positive image. I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're gonna wrap this up, y'all. Got my man Power Man MC. Y'all look him up. Look the clothing line up. Look at everything he got going on. He got a lot of stuff going on. One of my major folks, man. My family, man. I want to appreciate everybody for listening to this episode.